Today I decided to clean out my worm box. It's been going for a couple of months now, and we've added worms in, and we've seen there's babies in there and so on and so forth. And what we've decided is we need to get the compost out of there, or the worm castings. Now this started with a bunch of compost from the regular composter. And see, there's one reason that we kind of want to get back in here. We've had a lot of rain and the birds are finding lots of worms, so we want to get our worms out before they do that. So anyway, we're cleaning out the worm bin, and what I'm finding, sadly, is a lot of the adults have left, or at least we're not finding them so far. I've dug out about a quarter of this, and we found a few adults, but not nearly as many as we put in. But happily, what we're finding is lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of babies. So what I think is we didn't feed it enough, and even though there's bits of organic matter you can see in there, and there's, like I said, it started with compost, so there was a lot of food. We felt like it was enough, and I fed it a few times, but I guess I needed to feed it just a little more regularly, because it seems the adults left. But they left their babies, and this is a bucket. I think you can see in there several babies. And what I'm doing to do this, to filter it, I've taken my old hand filter. I was going to use the trommel, but it's just it's too fast, and we're really looking to make a nursery. We want to get some big worms saved up, and so we're going to do a three-tiered nursery, and I'll talk about that in another video. And we'll keep that process going, and I think we'll have a lot better progress for worm farming. So anyway, I've taken that and just lifted it out with the pitchfork or the shovel or whichever. I've tried both, and just to get the material out of there. I think the pitchfork's better because I got down to the rock layer that we'd put in originally, and the shovel was starting to bring up a lot of rocks. So I probably don't want to do that anymore. But anyway, I'm doing this, and you know, this is like a shovelful that came out, and then I'm just sorting it by hand, looking for the bigger worms. But then, like here, see right there's a couple of worms, there's a bunch of babies. So I just broke open a nest, so I want to take that. That's coming from here, and I find that eggshells they seem to like a lot, and that's what I put over here in this bucket. And I'll go ahead and pick up some more of these babies here. I just pick up all the ground around them, and as much as I can, because I don't want to disturb them any more than I just have to. Like that one's hugging to a stick, so put him in there. And then we'll let this go for several weeks, and we'll be able to get, there'll be adults then, and then before they get to be big enough to have babies, we want to roll them over. So that's part of that three-tier nursery thing I'm going to talk about in another video. Now here's one. He's still a baby, but he's big enough I can get hold of. So I'm going to move him over to the adults bin, which is just this many so far I've found. It's been real low pickings, not finding very many adults. And then I've got a bucket over here for just trash. I throw anything that's like plants or anything that find it, throw it back over in the composter, and then I'm saving a bucket full of mulch. So that's the sorting I've got. And of course, the coup de grace, or the coupe de grass, or whatever it's called there, I guess it would be the good stuff for the grass. That's what we got down here. And I got a big old pile of really great compost that's got a lot of worm castings in it. I know that some babies have fallen in there. There might be some adults that have fallen in there, but that's okay. This will all go to plants and everything. We're putting in the garden. We're needing an awful lot of compost, so that's one reason I'm doing this. But that's what we really want. And like I said, we get this when we filter through it and it's dry, then we get this stuff that's just great for mulch to put on top. So that's all that sorting it's slow by hand. And of course I got an awful lot of material right here that I don't know, it's been running, like I said, for a couple of months. And I'm real happy with the number of babies we're getting out. We put in about, over the couple of months, we probably put in 200 worms that we found. I mean, we're not finding a lot of worms. And part of it's because it's been real dry here. And we're digging in the garden, and there's a lot of grub worms have been. If you see in other videos, you see that. But we'll get this finished. Now, I don't know, that looks to me in the video to be real dry, but it's actually quite moist. It's been raining, so it's quite moist. But I don't think moisture is a problem. I think I didn't feed it enough to keep the adults happy, but they saw there was enough food in there for the babies, and so they had a lot of babies, and then I think they left and went over to somewhere else. I'm hoping to find them over here in the other part of the composter. I've got to go through this one and sort it today. It started off way up here at the top, and it's been now, I guess, around 10 weeks. I stirred it twice, and it's time to get into that. So we got a lot of work to do to get all of the composted material out, but hey, it's worth it. You can see that it's all in there. And we're starting our worm farm to be really directly with worms, as a worm farm, not just as a compost bin that, or older compost that we've left with worms. I'm going to use a little bit different technique and feed the worms more directly with food than I have here. And anyway, we think we're going to have a lot more success with the adult worms, but we'll see. Keep watching the videos and you'll know it too. Thanks for watching.